Hello everyone and welcome back to TVO. On today's episode we are talking about Secret Invasion, Marvel's latest entry into its multiverse saga. Well, its entire saga. Its entire just 15 plus year run. And oh boy, what is there to say about this show? Anyway, full spoilers. Let's get into it because holy shit, this show sucked balls. Like, I thought Hawkeye was going to be the worst Marvel television show because I was like, who cares about Hawkeye? Hawkeye at least had Haley Steinfeld and Florence Pugh as highlights. This show has Olivia Colman as a highlight. I'll give them that. Olivia Colman's character was actually interesting. Actually did stuff. Not a lot of stuff, but like her presence on screen was entertaining. She like had a sinister presence to her and she was actually like well written. Everyone else, just kind of running through the motions. Just like Samuel L. Jackson, good actor, but like I didn't love his performance in this. He just seemed tired. He just didn't seem interested in what he was saying. He just kind of felt like he was just done with it. And I'm just kind of like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is meant to be their super spy heavy espionage. Like, what's going on? Who can you trust? What's happening? Why are they doing it? And you're just like, what am I meant to care about here? Samuel L. Jackson's been away in space, relaxing, sitting on a spaceship, having the time of his life. And then someone texts him a message going, hey, look, dude, some shit's happening. We can't call the Avengers because they're too expensive in the budget. We need you to come back down and fight this on your own. We got some clearly obvious plants of like, these are the fake people who we've set up and shown, and you're just gonna have to believe us that this is somehow interesting, even though you know who's the bad guys. The bad guys' plight, very similar to the other show that we did, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Refugees with no place to go, kind of just then end up murdering people for no reason, just to prove that they're bad so that we can go, hey, look, these are the bad guys. They don't have legitimate points and reasons and whatnot. Yeah. So let's talk about major deaths in this show. We had Maria Hill die in the first episode as motivation for Nick Fury to realize that this is serious and that he's off his game, because they keep telling him he's off his game. And then in the later episodes, he's still off his game. But then on the last episode, second to last episode, he puts his eye patch back on and he's back on his game. And then he supposedly goes to Russia to fight the bad guy, but it's not him. So all of the emotional stakes in that moment just get null and void because it's like, oh, okay. But yeah, it's just what the fuck? This show was so boring. I kept forgetting it was coming out. Like, fuck. And it's just like, Olivia Colman's character was interesting because she, like, I don't know why. They kept going, look, we have no way of proving that these people are Skrulls. Don't try, like, but Olivia Colman already found a way to prove that they were Skrulls. You just cut off a finger and it dies and then it becomes green. So, like, why not just cut Rhodey's finger off when you're talking to the president and basically go, look, Skrull, alien. You found a way to prove that they're not... Like, I know it's like, if they're wrong, but, like, still, a finger isn't just straight up murdering the fuckers. Anyway, Talos dies as well. Ben Mendelsohn's character. And what a... like, depressing way to go out. It's like, oh, we're going to save the president. Gets shot once. And then tries to save the president. Super scroll strength. Punch the glass out. And then it's like, yeah, we saved the president. Oh, Talos dies at the hands of Gravix, the bad guy, who's got so many powers at that point, but doesn't use them. Uses guns, because it's cheaper on the CGI budget. And then Nick Fury's like, oh no, we got to get the president out of here. Can't go and save my friend. And then somehow they manage to get it back from the government, even though Nick Fury is like highly suspected of terrorism at this point by the US government. Somehow Nick Fury still manages to get the body. Not explained, doesn't matter, whatever. Like, Maria Hill makes sense. It's like, oh yeah, foreign asset, yeah, cool. Talos alien. Maybe they just chucked him into dumpster and then Nick Fury went dumpster diving and picked him up. Who knows? But it's like, oh, cool. Whatever. So, it's just... I don't know what they were doing. Like, the introduction of, like, the conspiracy is, like, 5 minutes, and it's like Everett Ross gets told to go somewhere by a crazy man who's pinning stuff onto a wall, and then Everett Ross is like, yeah, you can trust me. Here's the documents, and then he gets choked out for a bit. Then Everett Ross shoots the crazy guy. Turns out not a Skrull, because why would a Skrull be doing that? And then Everett Ross is like, oh, yeah. And then it turns out, oh, no, it is a Skrull. Everett Ross is a Skrull. And you're like, what? When did they get him? And you're like, how did they get him? Because the last we see of him, the Wakandans get him at the end of Black Panther. So unless Wakanda has also been invaded by Skrulls, but we'll never see that. I don't know what they... But, like, that's... The fan service stuff isn't really the... Like, Rhodey's a Skrull. Who the fuck saw that coming? That's been a popular fan casting for years. Mostly because of racist, like, people going, hey, look, here's a justification for why Don Cheadle is now... Terrence Howard is now Don Cheadle in the Marvel movies, rather than just going, look, he got recasted. It's fine. No one does that for the Hulk. No one did that for Edward Norton and Mark Ruffalo. They're just like, yeah, it's fine. Like, because it's harder to justify, but it's also like people are like, yeah, black people, it's easy to swap them out. So you just say, look, here's a Skrull, and people didn't notice. Like, whatever. Like, I don't get the whole you can't recast someone. It's a weird argument. Like, it's not been a problem in the past. You didn't care when they replaced Edward Norton. Like, I'm sure people did. But yeah, this is why I'm kind of like, I don't see the point of why Harrison Ford has to be Thunderbolt Ross in Captain America 4. Like, there's no reason why you need to recast that actor. Just have him be a different character. Just have them go to Thunderbolt Ross's funeral, and then have a new director come in, or the new president. Because also that's the thing, he's meant to be playing the president in this. So how are they going to explain the current president being switched out? Because are they going to just have a line in the next Captain America film where it's, oh, yeah, we got rid of that president because he went crazy and started shooting all the Skrulls, and now Thunderbolt Ross is the president? Like, it's going to make no sense. I didn't think about that until just now. Like, I literally didn't think about the ramifications until I started looking into the future. And like, so America has a 4-year term. So is that guy literally going to lose the election because people feel sympathetic to the Skrulls? But Everett Ross would just start killing Skrulls. So I don't know what the fuck happened in between the presidencies. And this is the things I think about when I'm not thinking about this show. Because it's boring and my brain starts to wander and I'm not engaged. But yeah, it just does nothing. Like, it starts with Nick Fury coming down from space, and it ends with Nick Fury going back up to space, because they can't change anything off screen because they got to have him in space for Captain Marvel 2, The Marvels. So you're just like, well, okay, he's going to end up back in the same place. I can guarantee you his wife's not... They had to put a line in the show where it's like, I'll help you start, but I'm not going to continue, because I guarantee you that actress is not it. Like, his wife is not in the next Marvels movie, because it'd be like, what? Nick Fury has a wife? Yeah, he's had a wife since, like, they announced it in The Winter Soldier. It might have been a joke at the time, but they did give him a wife. Also a Skrull. So we know Nick Fury likes the interspecies two-person tango, which is... Like, I knew they were going to do it, but I thought the reveal was going to be that Gravik was Nick Fury's son. But no, it's just some random soldier that happens to be a bit upsetty and spaghetti that he shot some people for Nick Fury, and Nick Fury happened to not find a home, and it's easier for Skrulls to live in secrecy on the planet because people are racist against aliens and black people and all of this stuff. But it never really touches on it. Like, we never see... Like, humans, it's weird, because they gotta have this problem with the X-Men, because they have all of these superheroes that everyone loves and everyone hates, and they keep changing what the public perception is. But ultimately, everyone's like, yeah, the Avengers, they saved the day. We love them. And it's like, yeah, cool. But, like, the X-Men, they've got to tie it into, we hate them. So it's like, ugh, how are they gonna do this? It's weird. But, so the whole build-up is, why did Nick Fury... What's Nick Fury's... What are the bad guys trying to get? And it turns out Nick Fury got a bunch of Skrulls at the end of the Battle of Earth, which is Endgame's battle. to scoop up all the DNA of the bad guys and then put it in one singular vial, which I don't know how that fucking works. Also, all the bad guys and everything got dusted. So, how the fuck did they get Thanos and Cull Obsidian and all of this nonsense? Like, unless they got it from the first battle and they went to... Because unless they went to the planet that Thanos got his head beheaded in the beginning of Endgame rather than the end and took the blood from that and, like, somehow went into space and got Ebony Maw's dead, cold, frozen corpse and all of this shit. Because I don't know how they got half of these characters' DNA from the Battle of New York. Like, they went, oh yeah, even Captain Marvel bled. Yeah, but, like, she didn't bleed on a rock. And, like, how the fuck are you going to tell it's Captain Marvel's DNA? Like, I don't know what the logistics is of this. And it's too many powers. Like, that CGI, that battle at the end was atrocious. Like, the CGI was bad. Not anything against the artist. They probably had no time to do it. But, like, Emilia Clarke... This is what I found hilarious about it is because Emilia Clarke is such a big name actress that they basically it's such a weird thing because I know it makes no sense in terms of the show, but Gravik never once until the end changes into a scroll, or like he changes very infrequently into a scroll, and I'm assuming that is mainly because the makeup takes a long time and they don't want to spend the budget doing that, and it's easier to have the actor just be in shots where they're themselves. And it's the same with Emilia Clarke, and it's the same with Ben Mendelsohn. It's the same with anyone playing a Skrull. They're like, we want to be in our natural human bodies, and they have one line of dialogue in it where they basically go, look, it helps you stay in character if you are that character for a long time. That is their one justification why all of these Skrulls in the compound and stuff are not in Skrulls makeup and all of that. And it's like, okay. And even then, Emilia Clarke's character at the final battle, because they needed to differentiate, because it's just two people with massive power gains fighting each other. So they had to go, well, Emilia Clarke, we need to know that it's Emilia Clarke because we've barely seen her in Skrull form. So we need her to be just like, yeah, I'm not going to fight as a Skrull. I'm going to fight as Emilia Clarke. And it's like, oh, god damn it. Okay. And then seeing Emilia Clarke with, like, big body appendages. She's such a tiny little person. It's so funny seeing, like, Dave Bautista's arm, which I don't think, like, I think of tattoos and stuff. So part of his genetic, like, people have pinpointed this all as, like, weird shit because they need the distinction on these characters. But, like, Ebony Maw has his rings, apparently, genetically encoded into him. Dave Bautista's, Drax has his tattoos and, like, scars or whatever they are genetically tattooed into his skin. And, like, other things like that, it just makes no sense because all they did was just copy and paste the assets because they don't want to spend a lot of money on the budget. And, like, we've seen Gravik, like, have his head blown apart by, like, a gun and, like, half of his face just be ripped apart and Extremis build it back together. And, like, the final thing is she just blasts him through the chest with one of Captain Marvel's power beams, and that kills him. And you see his eyes turn slightly grey. And that's meant to be, oh yeah, indication that he's dead. Disintegrate the body. Like, just straight up obliterate it. Like, don't just punch a hole through his chest. But, like, nah. They're just like, yep, leave him. And then Emilia Clarke's got every single Avengers power, and we're never going to see her again. Like, they shouldn't have done that. They should have just picked, like, some distinct characters. Like, they did, because they have, originally, he's got, like, Groot's body. He's got a Cull Obsidian's arm, like, DNA from when they cut that off. That's what I mean. It's like, how the fuck did they get, like, the other characters, like, DNA? Because they got dusted. But, like, it makes sense for those ones, because Groot, I don't know how you genetically infuse a tree into the DNA of a Skrull, but, hey, look, it works. But it makes sense. Like, you give some of the powers, like, you pick, like, the Force, like, a lot of them are just punchy people. Like, I think people have worked it out. It's like Captain America, Bucky, Hulk. Like, why would you need Captain America when you have Hulk? Why would you need Bucky when you have Captain America? Why would you need Abomination when you have the Hulk? Like, just give them, like, Ghost, the Hulk, Captain Marvel, so you can do lasers. And then, also, why would you need Drax for strength? Like, none of these characters are, like, most of them are just big, punchy people. Like Thanos. They have Thanos in there, and it's just, like, cool. Oh, yeah, just give them Mantis. Have Mantis, Groot, and then, like, limit it. put a limit on it, because it's just... Is Mantis's mind powers genetic and she knows immediately how to use them? Like, did they get the memories of all these people so they know what their powers do? They don't explain it, and it makes no sense, and it's weird. What else didn't I like? It's weird talking about this show. Because normally I'm like a big Marvel, like, yeah, I like it. I've talked shit about Marvel in the past. Marvel's been on the decline, and I think for the first time, like, in a long time, like last year, it was like Marvel didn't win the superhero thing. And I think this year they're not either. And that's, like, I don't know if this is worse than The Flash, but it's certainly a downgrade for Marvel. But, like, Spider-Verse is so good. Like, Across the Spider-Verse is so good. And Guardians was pretty good. But I don't think Guardians beats Spider-Verse. And I don't think Quantumania can even beat Spider-Verse. And I don't think the Marvels will beat Spider-Verse. So again, mainline Marvel, MCU, has not won, like, a superhero thing. They might not get the worst, because The Flash is fucking atrocious, and Blue Beetle doesn't look that good, and Aquaman 2 is probably going to get delayed to next year. So, like, who the fuck knows what's going on? But yeah, it's really not that interesting, a TV show. Like, the mystery of who's a Skrull and who's not a Skrull. They basically tell you who's the Skrull at the very beginning, because they show the process of how they get the DNA and they get the memories. And that's a fucking complicated, like, system. Like, also, why are they holding, like, 1 million Skrulls underground? Like, they don't... This is what annoys me, because in... Like, unless they... I know what they're doing. But why are they not killing... Like, they have shown that the Skrulls are killers. Why are they not killing the people that they are having... I know why they're not, because Marvel wants it so that it doesn't look too bad. But they have no reason to keep them. Their memory thing takes all the memories from that point. So they are genetic, like, memory-wise, that person. And that person is not making any new memories. So all they're doing is keeping them around so that they can go, oh, they didn't die. When the reveal is that, but like for mainline characters like Rhodey and Everett Ross, like it's like, oh yeah, so we're not killing these ones because they have so much more genetic code and we need them because they're more important characters like in the world. But like general people, why the fuck are they not just killing them? Like if they want to integrate into that person's life fully, why the fuck are they keeping them around? Like, it seems that they don't need to tap up every now and again. It's not like their memories fade. Like, if that was the thing, if they stated that they can only hold it for a year, and the memories only last a year or something, like a couple days or something like that, and they need to top up, that's a justification as why they're alive. At the moment, it just seems like they can just steal all the memories, and then they don't need to worry about it, so why not just kill them and then not have to deal with it? They don't state that there's any reason why they need to keep them around, other than that stupid reveal at the end where it's like, look at all of these bodies of random normal people because there's 1 million Skrulls. Too many. Again, too many Skrulls. And it makes no sense. Well, how the fuck do you keep 1 million people underground? Doesn't make any sense. And then, like, the ending again where, like, Talos' whole principle for this is like, if we just show humans how kind we are, they will accept us. And Nick Fury's argument is, yeah, nah, mate, that's not gonna work. And we just gotta keep you hiding, but ultimately, Earth is your new home. Because I gave up. And I can't be asked to keep looking through the universe to find you a planet. And then, whatnot. Also, the ending is basically Nick Fury going, hey, look, this, the Kree are open to peace negotiations with the Skrulls. Why didn't you fucking tell Gravik that? And basically go, hey, look, buddy, you're now superpowered. If the Skrull, the Kree try and do anything, you've got enough power to beat the shit out of them. So you've got a playing card here. Why not use that? But Nick Fury's just like, nah. I sent in a girl to... I don't give a fuck that she's a girl, by the way. I just said, like, I'm basically just... Because it's just like, I sent in the daughter of Talos to go beat the shit out of him because... Again, I don't think it's stated anywhere that the Kree can survive the radiation, because I don't think they have any proof that there is radiation. I just thought Nick Fury, because, like, I get it. It's like, oh, yeah, he's coughing up and spluttering because, yeah, like, radiation, I guess. But they don't state that the Skrulls are only staying there. I don't think. I might have missed it, but I wasn't paying that much attention when I was watching this. I was watching paying enough attention, But like, I got bored. The dialogue isn't that memorable. I had to keep turning on subtitles whenever Gravik was talking because he's got a bit of a mumble to him, or like a bit of like I had trouble reading hearing what he was saying because of his little accent. It was mostly during the meeting when he's talking to like all the presidents and politicians and things like that and committee leaders and everything. And you're like, oh, who are these people? Oh, they're all Skrulls. And then cool. And then at the end, that's what I was getting to. Talos' main principle is like, we got to show humanity that we're good, which is odd because they're not showing humanity that they're good. They're showing that humans are good because they're disguised as humans. So that doesn't make any sense. Like, unless they're like out and about walking around as green fuckers, like no one's going to know. But his plan is like, oh, we go to the president, we save you from this incident. And then it's like, you can help us do some diplomatic shit and get people to accept us, give us a home. And his daughter's like, yeah, that's fucking stupid, bro. That's not gonna work. And then he tries to save the president. He saves the president. Nick Fury fucking leaves him to die. Like his dead corpse. And then it's like, the president's like, oh, dude, this alien tried, like, once it's revealed that Rhodey's an alien and the president's like, oh, fuck, dude. This dumbass alien tried to kill me. Let's just go on a mass genocide and like make outlaws of all alien life an enemy of the world. Forgetting that like Thanos was, again, an alien and like most of the Avengers are aliens or people from outer space who beat back the aliens that were trying to invade the planet. So, again, this president seems real dumb. But I thought the twist was it going to be like, oh yeah, no. Like, the president's like cool with it, or like because Talos, he saw that Talos saved him, because it kind of cuts between the president being blurry in the car scene and Talos like breaking him out. And then I guess the president didn't see Talos, and Nick Fury doesn't explain that Talos was a Skrull who saved his life. So I don't know. This show sucks so much shit. And I think this is the lowest rated Marvel thing, like MCU thing in a long time. I think it's like sitting at like 18% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I mean, and it means nothing. But yeah, it's just like, fucking hell. They messed this up. Okay, it's on 66% Rotten Tomatoes. Where the fuck did I get 8%? So it's not. It's gone up, I think. Maybe it's gone up. Oh no, why is it changing? It's on 55. Audience score of 52. But yeah, man, this was a hit and a miss. Because just nothing happened. They kept ending on deaths, and then just immediately going, yep, those deaths happen. What's Eternals? Because Eternals was the lowest rated one. 47. Okay, so no, Eternals is still the lowest rated. But I guess it's the lowest rated TV show. I don't know why Eternals got so much hate. Also, why the fuck is Harry Styles in it? I know why Harry Styles is in it, because the director wanted them in it. But goddamn, that guy sucks. What a life, eh? But yeah, I think this is long enough for me to complain about this stupid show. I hope you enjoyed listening to a little rant about Marvel. Hopefully Loki Season 2 is better, although I have my doubts. But yeah, hopefully Loki Season 2 is better, and it comes out in October, I think. But yeah, I mean, I hope the Marvels is good. From the trailers, I quite enjoy the tone, and I think it looks interesting. It could be fun, but oh my god, Marvel has been hit or miss lately. Oh, that's the thing. The Super Skrull thing is the same problem with Thunderbolts, because the Thunderbolts is meant to be like the bad Avengers. But in the current MCU version, it's just super soldiers. Like, I think the only person that they had, again, with an interesting power, is Ghost. Because I think the lineup for the Thunderbolts is just... So, yeah, we got Yelena Belova, like Canadian Captain America, Taskmaster, Bucky Barnes, and knockoff Captain America. So, like, you have four super soldiers, or like 5 people who are just like fighters, and then you have Ghost as like the one with actual powers. But that's it. You have like no... Also, apparently the cast list has Stephen Yeun as the Sentry and Tim Roth. So I'm guessing Abomination. And also Paul Bettany. So I'm guessing Vision. But like, that's not confirmed. So like, I doubt those. I'm guessing that's just because people want those characters. They might be in it, they might not be. But like the Thunderbolts is just strong people. So there's not going to be any like interesting like power dynamics. It's just going to be a bunch of people punching each other. That was the problem with the fight. It was just a bunch of punching and then some lasers and then just a bit of sleeping and a bit of phasing. And that was it. That was the big fight. That was all their super strength nonsense. And that's going to be the Thunderbolts. It's going to be like just a bunch of punching people and one person with an interesting power of phasing through objects. Like there's no visual distinction really from their fight styles. Like Taskmaster might be able to do some other stuff rather than fight because they've got the Taskmaster brain of being able to copy moves. But like unless they can't copy Captain Marvel because they don't have any power to do that. So they can only really copy people who are like fighters. But yeah, that was the problem with the Super Skrull. It's just like, oh yeah, we don't have any fucking distinction because it's all just people who have like got super strength and they nullify each other. Because like Captain America is not as strong as the Hulk. So why would you need anyone other than the Hulk's DNA? Or Thanos. Because Thanos is stronger than the Hulk. So just have Thanos. And just have a big purple arm or something come out. It just was such a bad fucking ending. And it has no consequences. Because Nick Fury is like, well, the Earth, all the Skrulls are being shot up on Earth. Rather than dealing with that, I'm going to go to space again. That's the thing. It's just like, what the fuck is that ending? Because it's like, oh yeah. The president, I'm going to give you a phone call saying you shouldn't have done that. You're a naughty boy. Like, innocent people are getting shot. Because they basically show a montage, which is the most interesting thing in this whole show, of, like, vigilante terrorist groups and stuff like that going around. Or, like, government-sanctioned officials going around and shooting, like, news anchors who are Skrulls. And then it's showing the Skrull transformation. And then it shows like normal vigilante people going around and shooting the Prime Minister of the UK, who isn't a Skrull because they got rid of that Skrull and like the person came back and then she's dead. So they just straight up kill our UK Prime Minister. And like, yep, cool. And then they show a Skrull fighting back and it's like, cool, okay, so there's going to be a war. And then it's just like, nah, mate, I'm going to go back to space because I got to go be in space for the next movie. And I'm not going to mention any of this to Captain Marvel or Maria Rambeau or Kamala Khan. Took me a while. But yeah, it was just a dull TV show. It wasn't visually interesting. Like, it was just, like, there's an aesthetic to, like, spy things, and it's just, like, espionage and shot really cool because that's the thing you got to keep interesting. You got to keep the shots interesting. It's just a lot of Nick Fury sitting down. A lot of shots of just Nick Fury just taking a seat. Standing up for too long and then having to take a seat. And I get it, he's old. Like, I don't know why they're pinning all of these franchises on old people. Like, General Ross, Harrison Ford's like in his 70s, 80s. Hang on, let me just check how old Harrison Ford is. Harrison Ford is 81. And he is going to be a main part of the next Captain America movie. Why are Marvel and like all of these people, like DC as well, like they pinned The Flash on Michael Keaton, who's like 60? Like 60 or 70? Why are Hollywood so scared of just letting like they're trying to do the young Avengers, but they're still like desperately clawing to like these legacy like actors and actresses to be major roles in these franchises so that they can get everyone because they're recognizable and they don't want to make new stars. It's so weird. I don't get it. Anyway, that was another like 6 minutes of me just complaining about stuff and sidetracking. So I'm going to end it here. Hope you enjoyed. And next week will be Oppenheimer, I think. It was meant to be last week, but it took too long. I have seen it, and I will discuss it. I do want to go see Barbie, and I don't know when I'll see Barbie, just to do the meme. And Dan might be back next week, because Dan has finally finished his setup and all of the other stuff. Well, eventually, hopefully. No guarantees, but next week, maybe the return of Dan. Maybe the return of TFE. Maybe the return of some stuff. Who knows? My local cinema shut down, so I have to now go out of my way to go watch movies, which annoys me greatly. And so some stuff might be different. We might be doing other stuff. Who knows? I will leave it now. I've been going on. The problem with me being a solo person is I just talk. And I need someone to tell me to shut the fuck up. And on that note, thank you for listening. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.